Hi, what's going on, guys? Your everyday math tutor here. In today's video, we are at part 3 of the solving multi-step equations lessons here. So let's take a look at the first example here. Melanie has $35 in her savings account and does cleaning in a neighbor's house for $15 per week. Sue has no money saved, but is mowing lawns at $20 each. If Sue mows one lawn per week, how long will it take her to catch up with Melanie? Okay. So we're going to need to figure out essentially what's the intersection point of these two equations that we're going to have to create. So let's go ahead and separate Melanie over on the left side, and then we'll have Sue on the right side. So Melanie says that she starts off with $35 already in her savings account. So we got to figure out how much money she's going to have every week. So we already know she starts off with $35. So now we have to add the number of weeks. And every week she earns $15 for cleaning the house. So it's going to be 15x. That is $15 per week. Okay, we are done with Melanie. That's all the information that it gives us about her. And now let's take a look at Sue. Well, Sue starts with no money saved. So we're not going to add anything right now because she doesn't start with anything. She doesn't have any money saved. But we do know that every single week she's going to be mowing lawns for $20 every single week. Right? She only mows one lawn per week, so she's earning $20 per week. So we can represent it, and we can also put y equals here, and then y equals for Sue, $20 per week for every one lawn that she mows every week. Now, because these two equations are equal to each other, they have y equals for both. Here we have y equals for Melanie, y equals to 35 plus 15x, and y equals to 20x. We can just equal them to each other. So we're going to have 35 plus 15x and then equals to 20x because they're both equal to y. So we can just put them all in the same expression. And now, if I move this 15x over to the right, I'm going to be left with a positive. And when I say move, I mean I subtract 15x. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to subtract 15x to both sides. And now we can see that 15x minus 15x is 0. I dropped the 35. It's equal to 20x minus 15x is just 5x. And then we divide by 5. So we're going to divide by 5. 5 divided by 5 over here is just going to equal 1. So we're just left with 1x. And 35 divided by 5 is equal to 7. So it will take Sue 7 weeks to catch up to Melanie. So all we have to do is create equations and make y equal to each other, essentially putting them in the same expression and then solving for x. So it will take Sue 7 weeks to catch up to Melanie. Now let's take a look at the second example. Jen went to the farmer's market with $40. She bought a 10-pound bag of potatoes for $6, a pie for $8, 4-quart fresh blueberries for $4 per quart, and 5 pounds of apples at $1.49 per pound. What percent of the $40 did she still have when she left? So this is a percent equation. And a percent equation, a percent change equation is basically what you start off with, subtract your expenses and dividing it by the original amount. So what we have here, we'll have 40 minus will represent her expenses as x. We don't know what that is yet, but we do know there's a value there, so we can represent that as a variable. And then we're going to divide it by the original amount that she started with. So this is the easiest way we can do it. But what is x? Well, x, like I said, was the expenses. So we have to figure out how much it cost for everything that she bought. So we do know that the 10-pound bag, she started off buying the potatoes for $6. She then ended up buying a pie for $8. And then she bought the 4-quart fresh blueberries for $4. But for $4 every single quart, as you can see on the left. And there are 4 quarts in total, so that means it's 4 times 4, which is 16. So the blueberries ended up costing her $16. And now let's take a look at the apples. So she bought 5 pounds of apples at $1.49 per pound. So because there's 5 pounds, we have to multiply $1.49 by 5 pounds. So her apples actually cost her $7.45. So that is her expenses. So we add that up. Plus 16, plus 8, plus 6, plus $7.45. That's going to be X is equal to $37.45. And then all we have to do is substitute this into the equation that we established in the beginning of the problem. So 40, this is again the percent change, 40 minus $37.45 divided by 40. So the 40 minus $37.45 is going to be $2.55 divided by 40. And that is going to give us equals to 0.06375. But that's not our percent just yet. We need to multiply that by 100 to get the percent. And that's just going to be 6.375%. And that is how much she still had after she left the store. That is 6.375%.